I would like to get you to discuss the difference between a special military operation, a counterterrorism operation, and then actual war. Because, you know, I don't know if you saw Jack Keane, this guy, you know, he's a ridiculous excuse for a general. But the other day he was commenting, he says, yeah, look at Russia. They've been fighting now for 3 years and they've not been able to take all of Ukraine. And I pointed out, gee, General, how did you guys do in Afghanistan? You were there for 20 years. And only the Afghans didn't have tanks, they didn't have artillery, they didn't have air support, they didn't have the ISR being provided by NATO. And yet you couldn't beat them in 20 years. Russia seems to be doing okay. So what differentiates special military operation from, say, counterterrorism operation?
As far as I understand, if we declare a war, being in a state of war with Ukraine, that, of course, from the legal point of view, that gives the president, of course, vast opportunities to mobilize, to declare the state of emergency, martial law, all the attributes of the real war. So that is kind of, it's like in a treaty case, for example. CFE start when we declare suspension. There is no such clause in a treaty suspension. Right. Either you withdraw or you stay. Right. But that's kind of escape hole for not leaving the treaty and leaving opportunity to come back with no long legal procedures. Just you suspend, and the president takes decision. We return. The same goes with the special military. Well, anti-terrorist, it's something special. You see, it's first of all, anti-terrorist operation is not the case when armed forces are playing the leading role. The leading role before in the 90s it was the interior troops, and now it's National Guard. Special military operation, it's first of all, it is limited in scale. It should be limited in time, and it should be limited in the powers which the president has. Mm-hmm. That's my understanding. I'm not legal expert, and I don't think I read anywhere the differentiation between a special because it's absolutely a normal question you ask, because a lot of people are asking this question: what's the difference between special military operation and real war? Because most people in Russia, they believe we are at war with Ukraine, right. Not and this idiomatic expression, special military operation, is something not very explainable by normal.
One of the questions, and I've asked this of several, and hopefully you have an answer. Why hasn't Russia blown up every bridge over the Dnieper River, cut off the Ukrainian army from its lines of communication?
Excellent question, which I ask when I take part in TV shows
Yeah, the great
why?
game with Dmitry.
Because there are actually all the logistics goes through these 4 bridges, railway bridges,
Right.
more, but main railway bridges, 4 over Dnieper River, 2 tunnels in Carpat Mountains, and dozen of railway stations. When the 4 in Kiev and the rest on the route, why they're not destroyed? That's a very good question, but I think that Putin does not, because it would mean the escalation.
Yes,
it would definitely mean the escalation, and actually for the first time, it was Andrei Kellen, our ambassador in London, a couple of days ago, giving an interview to the.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, when he mentioned that we may cut eastern Ukraine from the western Ukraine, just ruining bridges. Some people say that we don't have means. It's not true.
Yeah,
it's not true.
That's
we have
ridiculous.
Means, especially when we demonstrated the so-called Oreshnik mid-range missile. Of course, we have means. But it seems to me that still Putin wants to keep kind of not low profile, but some moderate degree of escalation in Ukraine. We really, and first of all, why the pace of our advance is relatively slow? Because the first condition Putin put on the general staff is to minimize losses.
Right.
That's because if you start storming major cities, if you the speedy is offensive, more losses follow.
Right. Yeah.
Follow. That's military ABC. Then. We do not hit civilian targets. Occasionally, yes, but as you call it, collateral damage, it happens.
Well, you're 38 months into the war, and the Israelis already have killed that many Palestinians in 2 weeks.
Yes. So we, yes, energy. Yes, it's a military target, and you see, when you started bombing in Yugoslavia in '99, the first thing you did, bridges and power stations, and you openly said that it's the legitimate military target because it's the supply of armed forces by energy, by logistics. So. But and I'm puzzled why Ukraine is so stubborn to recognize reality, because and that's true. And Putin said every other proposition will be worse than the previous one, because we are moving. And if we move further, of course, and now Medvedev, some people are talking that we should move to Nikolaev, we should move to Odessa, and hold a referendum there, and that would follow. And if it all stopped in April 22, when actually the everything was on the paper.
Yeah, it was.
Everything was on the paper, and the cost for Ukraine was Crimea and small fraction of Donbass.
Donbass, yeah.
That's all. That's all. Neutrality and some restrictions on the armed forces, plus, of course, the rights of the Russian-speaking people.
Right.
It's nothing awful.
And they walked away from that.
And they walked away.
Yeah.
And they walked away on the advice. It was, of course,
Biden,
Boris Johnson,
Austin,
but of course it was
Johnson,
initiated by the U.S. administration at that time.
Yeah. No, it was, I wrote, so I had no inside information, but when I saw that Medinsky met with Umarov, the Ukrainian defense minister, for about 2 hours and 15 minutes, which delayed the start of the formal session. I suspect in that meeting that Medinsky was sending a message to Umarov that this is your last best offer.
Yeah.
If you don't take this, what's going to happen next is we're going to dismantle Ukraine. Ukraine will no longer be a country. And I think that's one of the reasons Umarov didn't attend the general session. He scurried off to Washington going, I think the Russians are upset.
Larry, you're absolutely right. I have the same. Assessment of the situation, and I think that in those 2 hours, Medinsky maybe he orally described the situation. Yeah. Maybe he even passed something on paper to Umarov personally. But after that, nothing happened. Yeah. Ukraine is still stubborn.